All right, I'm going to give you a analysis of the March 17th setup. And this is just straight out of the manual. This is called the A setup that's in the manual. And this happens every week. You're going to find this happening. Happens almost every day, quite frankly. But I'm going to give you this analysis to show you exactly like details of what's going on here. As we come into the day from the overnight and the end of the prior day, we had a big move up, which created this whole zone up here of liquidity, and that's why we see the green. This is basically these are longs. When you see green, it means these are people who are long, and basically they're trapped long. So they're trapped long, meaning they're waiting for price to go back up into this area. And you can see how price pushed down all night long into the London session. And then we come here to the New York session at 8:30, 8 o'clock-ish. That's when that session started. Right in here is when the day began. And the move started right before that at about 8 o'clock. So let's take a look at why and what we're looking at and how we analyze. When do we decide to take a trade? What we know when we don't take a trade is when we see all of these lines. There are different color lines. We have white lines and yellow lines. White lines, of course, are longs. The yellow lines are shorts. So we have battles going on. When you see these lines, different color lines, that means we got both people in there. They're trying to make up their mind. Are they going to take the market up or are they going to take it down? So we don't know what they're going to do yet, so we don't trade. We just wait for it to clear up. So we're waiting, and the way that we do this is we wait for a clear move out of the congested area. So according to the manual, this is what we call the fence. We call it the fence because we have what looks like poles here. The lines, the candles make the fence post, and the lines make the wire or the going across the fence. So when you see this and you're thinking fence, you know this is no time to trade. So when we're going to trade is when we see price move out of the congested area. And it's got to be done with white lines. So here we have a white line that finally set up that pushed price above this whole congested area here, and it moved it up into this area. Now I'm going to go in a little bit tighter here so you can see this a little bit more clear. So as we came up out of the congested area, we had a white line here and a white line here on this candle. Now remember, the white lines form at the end of the candle move. That means that this was one big move, and this is your first tip off when price moves a long way compared to where it has been moving before and creating lines. These are all short candles. This is a clue. It's not a time to move yet, but it's a clue to, hey, start paying attention because this could be it. So we see the price move up here, and then we see another one followed. And you're going to see this actually happen a lot. You'll see 1, 2, or 3 candles coming up out of a congested area, each with a white line connected to it. That means that's probably the move, all right? But we're not there yet. We still don't have a trade yet because it's not clear enough. Price is not clear enough out of this congested area for us to take a trade. So when do we take a trade? Well, we're looking for the first white line. This is your A setup. We're looking for the first white line that forms clearly away from the congested area. And that formed right here. So price moved up, formed the white line at this point, and price came back down to try and test it. It did not even touch the white line. And that's another signal that we have the right line that we're talking about. So when you see the price come back down, or from here take off, it doesn't matter. What we're doing is we're taking a trade right off of the end of this first white line that formed. So right here is where you would see it form. And right here's where you would take your trade. Now, your best bet, of course, is to be dealing with micros contracts, not minis, so that you can actually get a better trade in if price for some reason comes back down, because it doesn't always come back down. It can do just like this one right here, can come up and continue to go up. Okay, it did the same thing here. It went up and it continued to go up. It never came back down to test or to push back and test the white line, and which was another hint that these were good positions. That means buyers were coming in and they weren't even allowing the price to go back down. They were pushing price up. So this is really a good sign right in here that you could have gone long. Usually I would have taken the second one up here, because this is, to me, the first one clearly out of the congested area is this one right here. But you can be extra safe by waiting for the first line that's clearly above some price before you take it. And that would have been here. Now, if for any reason price comes back down and pierces back below this, then you need to go ahead and come out of the trade until you see it comes back in. So there can be some drawdown here, but it won't be much, because you've only got one trade on, which you took right here. Okay, and when you see it start to come back up here, and maybe you see another white line, that could be the time to take another trade. So we're building out a position here. Okay, and so when we see this white line here, and now it's above, and it comes above this first candle that was made with a white line, you know you're on the right track for sure. So this means you can actually come in with another buy, and this is where you start to add to your position. And this is how you keep from churning away your account. Most people would come in here, buy this, and maybe if it comes back down here, they buy again. Okay, you got to try to resist that. You really want to do that, because you know it's going to probably continue up. But it doesn't always do that. All right, it can be a fake. It can be a fake, and it comes back down here, and once it violates this white line, and by 4 or 5 points down here, or pips down here, you don't have a trade anymore, and this is probably headed back down. Okay, so we don't take those trades, and we don't buy like that. So we're buying only on the way up, and when we prove that we're in the right direction. So the next white line proves we're in the right direction. Great time to take another ad right here, and it comes back up. It took another one up here. Now, when you're in here and you see this green, you know that they're probably going to go. Your initial target is this line right here, the top of the line. You know it should get there. This is why you can't come on heavy in here, even right in here, because you know it should go ahead and finish out. You've got all the white lines to prove it, and then you could take off most of your positions here, leaving a runner. So you might leave 1 or 2 micros on to see how much further it goes. Now we've had 5 hours of buildup over here, a lot of congestion. That's a lot of money that poured into it. So it's going to be powerful, and it's going to be more powerful than just to hit the top of the line and reverse. It should go through, which it did, and so we got some new highs out of it. So as it came up here, as it came up here, it had another white line right here, which gave you further confluence that this is probably going to go higher, and it did with this last big move up. The other thing we're looking at, why we're letting these runners go here, or maybe it's the whole thing, it's up to you, is because we haven't seen the yellow line yet. All right, so our exit is when we see the first yellow line. Well, we haven't seen a yellow line since way back over here. Okay, so the sellers were way back down here in this area. So it's been all buying here. There's no reason to sell yet. But you do have to kind of get cautious once you get above the green line, because now we're in new territories. But price will move up. This is how new prices are made. It's going to move up past wherever it's gone before, and then some, because that's how price makes new highs. So here we're making new highs, but then right here we had a problem because price came down and made a yellow line right here. So at this point, 2 things happened. There was a green box, a green zone created right here. Now, remember, these were existing green zones from the night before, the day before, which means that's just liquidity waiting to be taken out. But this becomes a new liquidity area. These are new longs coming into the market, and new longs tend to get trapped. Not always, but they tend to get trapped, especially after an extended move. So we have new longs here with this green box. So when I see the green and at one time, you know, this green zone extended all the way this way, all the way to the right. And so this was a new area that could be taken out and could continue to rise. But generally, when you see that first green area, it's time to for price to go ahead and settle back below it. So when I see that, that puts me on guard that, hey, this is probably, the run is probably over. We saw it for sure completely run out here. And when this candle closed, so this would be your exit right in here. In fact, right here is when the green box formed. It was when price went down and price went back up. Remember, there's only two candles that will create one of these green or gray areas, and that's a 2-candle move right at the very start, wherever you see it formed, and that's formed and it goes out to the right. And when you see that formed, then that's important. So in this case, that was formed right here, and price went higher, and this would have been a great place also to exit. As soon as you saw this box form right here at the end of this candle, you would technically have come out at the very top. So these are some conservative ways and some ways of letting it ride to see if you've got more room. But you had two signals here telling you to get out now at this point, that price shouldn't go up. And that was the new green zone forming and a yellow line forming right here.